Hello, everybody. Today is March 31st, and today was Michael Gentile's sentencing. He was the last of the 11 guys to be sentenced in the Hansen versus Predator sting on Crime Watch Daily. I drove up to Bridgeport this morning. I got there about 9:30, and court started at about 9:45. And lucky me, Gentile was the second guy there. He was being held. He was not out on bail. I had thought he was out on bail, but he was being held, and they let him in gray sweatshirt, baggy gray sweatshirt, khaki pants. Two marshals were holding his arms. He was handcuffed behind his back. Unfortunately, they do not allow cameras inside the courtroom, so I found an artist rendition of him walking in. I don't know who the guy on the bottom is with a smirk, but you can see Gentile and a big marshal leading him in. He turned his head and looked into the spectators to see if anybody he recognized was there. But unfortunately for him, nobody showed up to wish him well as he went off to prison. So he went in front of the judge. His lawyer came up, and the judge asked the lawyer if he had seen the sentencing documents, and the lawyer said, yes, I had. And then he asked Gentile if he had seen the sentencing documents, and Gentile said, no, I haven't. So the judge excused them to go over the documents. The marshals led Gentile back down to the basement to the holding cell, and the lawyer went out the other way. And about half an hour later, Gentile was ready. The lawyer came back in and told the marshal that Gentile was ready. The marshal told the judge, so they brought Gentile back out. He still turned around, coming back in a second time. I don't know. Maybe he thought that his family was late, but again, nobody was there for him. I guess. Not including me. So the prosecutor did a little talk. She said that he was different than the other people in the Hansen versus Predator case because he had child porn on his phone. So she said that this sets his case apart, and she recommended the high end of the sentencing spectrum, which I think is 2 to 10 years. But the judge and the prosecutor both said, "Hey, this has already been agreed to." And she's like, "Oh yeah, sorry." So then the judge asked the defense attorney if he had anything else to say, and the defense attorney said, "I do not." And then the judge asked Gentile if he had anything to say, and he said, "No, sir, I do not." So the judge told Gentile that he said, "Hey, we're about the same age, and it gives me no pleasure to give you this sentence, but it is what it is," and said for the three charges related to the sting, soliciting of a minor, he was sentenced to 10 years in prison, suspended after 4.5, meaning he serves 4.5 years, and if he behaves himself, he can get out. And then for the second degree possession of child pornography, he was sentenced to 2 years to be served concurrently or to be served at the same time. So his total sentence turned out to be 4.5 years, really 10, but suspended after 4.5 years. 10 years probation after that, registry on the sex offender list, and sexual offender counseling. So then the judge asked the prosecutor to describe the crime briefly for the record so they could give it to the counselors at the sex offender program. So she got up and said that he had come to meet a 13-year-old girl who was obviously not a 13-year-old girl, that it was a decoy, and that his plan, was quite obvious. He made it quite obvious that his plan was to come out there and have sex with her. Gentile shook his head no a little bit, but didn't make too big of a scene. So everything was done except the judge had to determine what to do with Gentile's possessions. So at the hotel, at the Best Western in Fairfield, the police took Gentile's possessions, which included keys, a wallet, a Samsung tablet, a phone, a camera, assorted papers, a pocket knife, and he asked the defense attorney, who would be going to the police station to pick this up. And the defense attorney asked Gentile if his wife would want to pick it up, and Gentile said, no, 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 no. So the lawyer said, Judge, it can be sent to my office, and the judge said, no, no, somebody's got to come pick it up. So again, the lawyer talked to Gentile, and Gentile couldn't determine who he wanted to come pick it up. I don't think he had anybody that would pick it up for him. So the lawyer told the judge that the designated person will be designated, I guess, at a later date. So if you're friends with Gentile, you can swing by Fairfield Police Station and pick up his crap. So we were done nice and quick, man. I was out of there at 10:30, which was great. So I drove over to the Best Western and took a couple pictures. This is where Gentile had gotten a room and had his camera set up, and those other belongings were in the room. I guess to take the 13-year-old girl out of her house to the hotel to make some more child pornography or whatever sick stuff he was going to do. So this is the last of the guys to be sentenced. All of these guys pled guilty. No one took it to trial. So great job for the prosecution. Great job to the police. Tetrad Corps, great job for them. I was kind of hoping there would be a trial, just for the fun of it, and to hear them trying to argue themselves and all the evidence that would come out. But the cases were tight, and everybody pled guilty. Tiriolo and Michael Manzi. Tiriolo got 3 years probation. He got a 10-year sentence. It was all suspended. 3 years probation. Manzi got a suspended sentence after 3 years. I don't think he even got probation. Then they did Buchanan. He got 8 years, has to serve 3. Jesse Velez got 5 years, has to serve 2. John Dupuy got 8 years and has to serve 3. Joshua Colon with the Chinese food, he got 7 years. He also has to serve 3. Charles E. Lawrence got 8 years and he has to serve 2. Michael Popovich down in Virginia, he didn't even make it to the Sting House. He got arrested in Virginia, and he received 20 years, suspended after 10. So he has to serve 10 years, which is hysterical because if he actually went to the Sting House, he probably would have got 2 or 3 years. But since he didn't go to the Sting House and he was subject to Virginia rules and laws and sentencing guidelines, he actually has to serve 10 years. So fuck you, Popovich, haha. Vincent Ambrosio, he also had child porn, which was first-degree child porn, which I think means less pictures. He was sentenced to 10 years, suspended after 2.5, so he has to serve 2.5 years in prison. Jeffrey Sokol went up 2 weeks ago. He also got 10 years, suspended after 2.5, so same thing as Ambrosio. And now we have Gentile, who got the most time, 4.5 years to be served, the most time out of the guys that actually went to the house. So hopefully we have another Sting coming soon. Thanks to everybody that was involved. And guys, thanks for watching.